my talk is data science and its past impact. I come from Imperial. I'm professor of computer science, and I'm also director of Data Science Institute of the college. So the Imperial, I think most of people know, is in South Kensington. We have a very, very small campus. And however, we do generate a lot of big data. So this is small campus with big data is the new characteristics of the Imperial College, I would say. So we have a full faculty, and faculty of the medicine, faculty of the nature science, faculty of engineering, and the faculty of business school. So they are different, of course. However, the one thing common, all the research are pretty much data-driven, right? It comes from the medicine, and these days, medical research is driven by a massive data generated by high-throughput devices to measure your molecular level activities to the physiology. So from medical imagery to genome sequence machine to protein measurements to the metabolites, everything with your life is now being measured, be quantified with the high-throughput machine. And over the nature science, of course, right, the biology, physics, and from particle physics to astrophysics, it's all based on the observation made by the data. And also the engineering these days, design, and also, this is a car, right? Now, these days, you design a car. It's actually not designed by just the modeling, it's by sensors, which have about 700 sensors in one normal car, and measure every single aspects of the car's features, and also the business. And we're here now, it's business analytics, right? From the marketing analysis, from trading, algorithmic trading, from digital city design, from the building a service economy, is basically all data-driven. So that's why I'm saying Imperial is a very small campus, but with a big data. So what is data science? There's a million different definitions, and none of them probably will be, canonical. But however, I think everybody agree the data science can be viewed as the merge between the mathematics, particular statistics, with computer science. And I would say we use the machine to analysis, to learn, to understand with the big data. So that was pretty much definition you can say. So if you look at all the data science organization in a university setting, it's all about computer science people working with perhaps the mathematician and also physicist to actually use the data, deal with data, use it for understanding, learning, and discover from the data. So if you want to categorize the data science research, it's pretty hard, but there are many ways to say so. But I think what we can, in general, we can say, we do learn. So you take the data in, you actually learn the correlations, find out the patterns, and build the predictive models. That's all coming from machine learning, right? So this is one of the key areas we focus. The second area is also the data acquisition. That's from sensing. And we actually really, for example, in the digital city research, and we really research a different way to sense the nature. And in the medical research, we research on how to build the devices to measure all the activity of life. So this is sensing and interaction between the human and the nature and the environment. And afterwards, you analyze data and the feedback to the control of the nature environment, and then I get more data in. So it's kind of feedback loop. And among all of them, you actually want to do, really from data science point of view, is you do the cognition and you do discovery, right? And from discovery of the molecule which cause disease, and to the discovery of the patterns in the social network. But all this work increases our understanding of the world. So it's a cognition, discovery. I think that probably you will see the data science research is all around that. On the top is more statistical research combined with probably AI. On the bottoms, and the research will largely to do with artificial intelligence and probably now cognitive science. In the middle is more kind of double E work, and they do with the human and the machine interaction. So, but to put all of them together, And then now you have the two things one together. I realize this conference is actually sponsored by some cloud vendors. Yes, this big data and cloud integrate very well. So what you can see here now is with the cloud, with the mobile network, with the big data, you kind of build a full spectrum of service economy. So you start with the cloud, is make service available anytime, right? That's you don't need to buy a computer. You can subscribe services online to get the computer resource. So you get service anytime. Now you with mobile, all right? And then now you can get your service anywhere. So whenever you go, you can always access the service. But what is the service? What the contents is actually enabled by the big data. So you can't get anything. So this is a kind of the landscape you build for the digital service economy. So that's why it's so important. Now you put all this one into the one scenario and understand the big data in this context of the economy. But if you really look at the structure, it's really turn the traditional computer science, upside down. So you have the middle is really our cloud, is computer infrastructure, and then you need in the sort of middle, in the corner is actually the contents, is a big machine, and then you have the middle is a layer for communication, is really the wireless network, and outside you build the contents, which is our big data. So this is pretty much the context we are thinking about that. And so in Imperial, last year, about now, almost 1.5 years ago, we established the Data Science Institute at Imperial. So as you can see, Imperial is a pretty multidisciplinary university. So we actually have 4 faculty here, but they all have the common features of data-driven research. But in order to enabling, right, the multidisciplinary research activities, the data become a really good glue for put activity together. So that's the reason we set up this Data Science Institute as a cross-faculty institute, and their goal is to bring the different expertise together, not just the mathematics, computer scientists, and the physicists, and actually put all the people together. And some departments, some research will generate the data, some research will do the analysis, some research done innovation. So really to answer this kind of strategic applications, or you can call it global challenge. For example, health. For example, the environment. For example, the sustainable development. All this research requires multidisciplinary research work enabled by the big data. So in this talk, I'll just give you a few examples about our approach of the pathway to the impact, how this Data Science Institute can actually work together with our domain scientists to really leading the data science revolution. That is the one. So the first one, so it's 5 things I can talk about. One is catalyzing the multidisciplinary research. The second one is building our capacity. And the third one is educating a new generation of data scientists. And the fourth one is collaborate closer with industry. The fourth one is do some innovative work with big data. So this is our 5 approach to actually generate impact from big data. The first one I'm talking about probably is the multidisciplinary research. As I said here, right, the data is a vehicle to actually glue the different scientific disciplines together to actually answer some big questions. So this one is health, right? And the Imperial is, people view Imperial as an engineering university. It's not. Imperial College research, 60% is for medical and for healthcare. So our engineering is actually working for generate healthcare innovation. But in these days, the healthcare revolution comes from the really multidisciplinary research enabled by the big data. So this is give you a general view about what is all this big data come from. So if you want to build a personal medicine and you want to treat the patients, individual patients, with optimized treatment, so you have to understand this person's molecular characters. So it's genes, it's particular genetic features, and also is you will understand the physiology. Now, these days, body sensor is everywhere. So now it's make this measurement of the physiology be pervasive. So, and also very important, your lifestyle, the environment, and every factor is contribute to your health. So in order to build a personal profile to determine your optimal health plan, you need to really understand all this data. So this is the one thing where we come here. So a system in the DSI we built is really a comprehensive system we call the Yike Health, which we integrate the human physiology and models and also the molecular models together and using technological data assimilation. So what that means? So that means every bodies you can have, for our physiology, you can build a mathematical model of it. You can have a mathematical model of your heart. You can have a mathematical model of your the temperature of the body, and also the mathematical model of how the activity of your kidney, or so on. But those kind of things is a mathematical model. These days, what you can have now is you can have the measurements from the body sensor. So what we do here now is we merge the two. So we use the data measured at your personal physiology to actually personalize each model. So in this case, the heart model will become your heart model, right? I have my heart model. So therefore, this model actually characterizes the normal behavior of your heart. And then now you can put these models inside of the cloud, and then use the body sensor to measure heartbeats and to meet this model. If it's not really match, then something happens, you can generate early alarming. So it's quite interesting, right? And we do some experiments, and after a cup of wine, your phone rang in and say, hey, you know, your heart was something behave funny, what you're doing. So that is actually, yeah, one of the interesting applications. When you get angry, your phone will run too. Calm down, sir, right? That is what works. So that is, you can think about that. That is not just the data analysis. It's data analysis to personalize a mathematical model and use it to actually feature back, to actually to monitor your life and to help you. The second area that we're doing here now is build up the capacity which we can do the big data research. That's including two things. One is we want to see the data. When data becomes really big, the problem is nobody can actually even really try to see a full picture. So in this case, you build a visualization facility, and you need mathematics or to build a model. You can see there are two things we really want to build up. So this is what we built in Imperial College. That's probably now the world's largest visualization studio. It's a 315-degree cave. So it's about 1.8 billion pixels. And you're walking in there, you can see the data in such a big scale. You can see we use it for text analysis. That's what you can see. You can put the whole world medical articles inside. And you can see the connectivity between the words and the connectivities between the authors and the connectivity between the concept and the words. And I can really comprehend actually the structure of the knowledge in a particular field. And another area we have to be very focused on is education. Why university, right? So we need to educate the next generation data scientist. And it's actually quite a popular sort of a degree, because and in any newspaper, and the magazine, and the TV, they tell you data scientists earn the most of the money. So there's actually a very good motivation for the students. However, no free lunch. To create a data scientist is a tough job. So it's not a computer scientist, you need a lot of math. It's not a mathematician, you need to program machine well. And the most important thing is you have to understand the domain. Yeah, so if you don't understand domain, and you're not really a data scientist, you're a programmer or you're a statistician, but you cannot really apply to actually generate the data innovation. So we have to do all these things together. Yeah, I think this picture is suggested by my daughter, and I realized I made a big mistake by doing so. So this is the pretty much, if informatics is really about the domain science, and you get the data engineering is more computer science, and in the middle is really the computer science merged with the statistics. So it's a pretty hard job. So there is a traditional way to do so. So basically, you build a master's degree, so you learn something in your first degree, and then you come to computer science department or the math department to actually learn something called data science. But we really don't like this approach, because this approach, you still kind of divorced between the domain and the data, right? So what we actually do in Imperial, we embedded the data science education inside the domain science. So this is what we're doing. Instead of offer a standalone data science course, what we're doing is we build up sort of units which teach you the basic data science concept, and we inject these units into each department's master's degree education. So you will have, say, for example, you will have the material scientist really studying the data science modules, including the foundation of data science, the analytics of machine learning, programming big data, and data management and visualization, and also data economy. So it's not, we're not really view the data science is just a research discipline. You have to really understand the value of the data, how to protect the value of data, how to exchange the value of data, so it's all become data economy. So this 5 course, you can pick 4. When you pick 4, we will teach it, and then you will combine with your domain education, come with a master of something with data science. Okay, so it could be the MSc of chemistry with data science, MSc with material science with data science, MSc of molecular modeling with data science, and MSc with medicine with data science, so on, so on. So that is the model we are going to do. And then we also, in 2005, what we will do is we will design these modules, and we gain the Imperial College approval now, and then in this year, we start with business school first. So we will have a business analytics course. We take 3 modules, and with other part of the training on marketing or on the revenue management, so on, to form a degree of business analytics in our business school. And for next year, starting, we will offer this one to the whole college, other discipline. So another path to the impact is, of course, the collaboration with industry. The problem of the big data research, the biggest bottleneck is you don't have data, right? You cannot say, I'm doing big data without data, right? So, and then most people doing this open data, but then you have another problem here now is you create the problem. The problem may not necessarily be the real problem. So industry collaboration is great. It's not just about industry providing university money, right? That was the traditional way to think about that. But it's not just. I mean, we need money too. It's no question about that. But the real value coming from the data, the problems, right? So our collaboration is really based on funding that join the labs, and then we identify working with the industry together to identify the problems, and we provide a solution. So a very good example is this KPMG Advanced Analytics Center, which established with the big investment from KPMG. So we all know KPMG is the audit firms, but they are pretty smart. If you're auditing other people, you deal with the data. If you can analyze those data, you can offer above your auditing services how to improve the performance of the business. So this is a pretty clever idea. So, however, this is quite diverse. You're auditing any different industry. So build a team inside the company to do the big data analysis is actually quite costly. Probably the best way to do is working with the university. So this is the intention of the KPMG. For Imperial, it's brilliant because in this case, you have all these different problems comes, right? All different challenge come to our data scientists. So we love this kind of things. So this is really the manager with happiness. So we just build this lab here. So this is a very good example. You can see how the industry work together. And the other thing we do is we do the real-time bid analysis projects, and then we do the training. So we will have, probably in the beginning of next year, we will have data scientist training programs. But this is not train the people to learning the data science as a sort of the academic activity. Rather, we train with KPMG together to actually build, they call the data club. And then what we actually need is how to do the data science projects, in the service industry. So I think this could be quite cool. And we were problem-driven. We identify the problem here. We use the problem to actually, drive the education. So that is, The last one is really the translate innovations to the value. So this is actually quite important for Imperial. So, and in the Silicon Valley, right, the big data revolution comes from really the innovation business. And they generate the data, they use data to generate new products. Same as here. So, and another thing is data science research is not just about the technology, it's all about a new business model and a new innovation and the new industry forms as well as the new, new product model. So what we really want to do is create, young people, this data enterprise, entrepreneurial, and build the data enterprise. So we have Idea Lab here. We build prototype platforms, and with a lot of industry involvement. So one thing I want to, take this as an example is a big research. What we are doing here is use the brain data. That's quite cool these days. So the way we can measure the neural activity in your brain is just increasing like the Moore's law. So these days, right, this paper generated, publication generated, so neuroscience, right? But also the machine we created, which can be used to measure the brain, right, from fMRI to EEG. We can really starting to understand the activities inside your brain. It's good news, right? But also can be scary. But anyway, well, let's put it into the good way to use it, because a lie becomes very difficult because I can see your brain, right? But that is really the thing we do. So what we actually see is all this data generated by these devices. For example, like taking the low-level stuff. Eye track. I can track your eye movement, right, when you see something. So you cannot pretend that you see this direction. I can tell you exactly what your eye focuses on. And now you can easily do the brainwave, basically the EEG. And also you can trace the brain blood and oxygen activity, which actually tell you which part of the neuron is active. So, and then all this thing is coming, generate a huge amount of brain data. So you can think this is pretty academic, right? What is to do with business? Yeah, let's see that one. So one thing is, if you put this technology together, you suddenly can say, right, I can actually use the eye track to track your attention when you look at advertisement, right? And this is the way you do, and you wear the EEG. It's quite comfortable to wear now. And now you have eye track. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. I wear this when I sleep to monitor my sleep patterns. Actually, work very well. So actually, you can tell when you look at a certain part of the event, what the brain reaction start. Okay? So this will help you to design really useful, actually, advertisement or the trademark. So this is actually tell you, when you watch that one, your cognitive activity is about 16%, your emotion there, your attention there. So how much percentage? If you go further down, you can do the visualization. You can actually see, when you read, go to the shopping shelf, you can see how your eye moved. And at what point you suddenly decide to buy by look at what, right? So this is a very nice heat maps, which tell you when your eye move and correlate with your brain, right? So this is a really understand your market impact with this data science. This is pretty good stuff to start. So now you can see, and we are thinking about, we talk about business school, you can do something like, they do the management training, right, in the business school. They do the decision making. So you come here, you hesitate to make the decision, you feel nervous, and after 2 weeks, they tell you, yeah, you're getting much better now. But how do you know? So now we can design the psychology experiments with all these brain measurements. So we do the measurements before your training, and then you do after training, and then see what changed. And then correlate this change to see from neuroscience point of view, is that true? This is related to decision making. So number one is give you great confidence, you made improvement, and also give our teachers a lot of trouble. You have to have your lecture delivered to achieve the goal, right? So that is a really good stuff to start. That's a data science. And also, and we are even more crazy now, your battery running low, 10% enough, right? So how to close this one, please? The guy is gone, right? So this is the visual corridor. This is in the Imperial College main corridor. So we turn this corridor now into the visual screen. And now we put all the sensors around. So we actually turn our corridor into the social behavior experiment place. Okay, so you can see how the people move and how this impact comes with certain kind of news, and see how this news generated the impact to the behaviors. So this kind of social level experiments is really transformed the way of the psychology and the social science. So this is another very good area we can think about the innovation. So this is our main corridor. It's 20 meters long, and we have 8 screens that's project out. And then you can really do all sorts of interesting experiments. And it's only in the beginning. So, but not just, right? And we did this one for business. We can also use this one to the medical. So this is, again, the sensor we made, which is like an ear plug, which actually gives you 9%, which is give you the really measurement your brains when you sleep. And we use deep learning algorithm to actually score your sleep. And this deep learning algorithm capture the clinical knowledges from the doctor. So this is different from the iPhone kind of sleep pattern management, which is completely no clinical impact. This one is a clinical standard. So this will tell you exactly your sleep from clinical point of view, right? What kind of sleep you have. And correlate this one to your health. Because you have to realize many diseases, many health problems can be measured, can be reflected by your sleeping pattern. So this actually will be a quite interesting development around data science. So I think I should conclude. So yeah, data science is very exciting research. I think we are lucky to be a data person this time. But university played a key role to actually pursue innovative research in this area. But the more very important thing is not just the research, and also its application. Industry cooperation is crucial, not just for advanced research, but also for generating impact. And Institute is really devoted to explore all different paths to actually make our research to benefit the society. Thank you very much.